Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time that you've given us to meet together in this room. There's been a lot of things done in this room, Lord, a lot of knowledge shared and a lot of decisions made. We ask that you be with us tonight as we hear the words that are spoken. Give us the wisdom to discern the truth and the courage to follow up and do what we should do. We thank you and love you and pray in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have already taken care of the fun part, the letters of commendation. So thank you for those, Chastity. We appreciate it. We'll need to have a motion to approve the minutes from August the 15th and August the 29th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion was made by Jason and the second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So done. We do have a couple of delegations, a couple of folks who want to speak to us tonight. I'll just remind our speakers, we have a 3-minute limit. We ask that you keep everything kind and that you don't use anyone's name who isn't here, not able to defend themselves. So when you begin, I think we'll have our 3-minute marker going. If not, I'll kind of keep an eye on it and let you know when you're getting close. Our first speaker is Mr. Melvin Lamar. Just tell us who you are and where you're from.
Good evening. My name is Melvin Lamar, and I stand before you on behalf of the Men of Coalition. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity. I want to speak to you for a few minutes regarding the former vocational facility located in Bay Minette in the Douglasville community. As you know, the vocational and technical training has been released from that area and moved to this area in Loxley. There are 3 concerns that I wish to address to you. The first concern is that right now that building is sitting there vacant. It is idle. In fact, it's been idle for a few months. The building is non-productive and basically just wasting away. The second concern that we've observed is that there are many parents in that Bay Minette, that Stockton, that North Baldwin County area that don't want to send their kids to Loxley. They would rather let their teens stay in that Bay Minette area, grow up in their adulthood lives with no skills, with no ways of making money. Statistics have always shown that when there's no economic means for individuals, when there's no economic empowerment, when there's a lack of education, if that city has that at a high rate, there will be a high rate of illegal activity. We know a lot of these kids are idle. We know them because we see them walking the streets. They have no way of making a living. And when kids are idle, they tend to get into a lot of crazy things. They tend to get into violent things. And yes, many of them tend to get into illegal activities. Men in the coalition are concerned about that. The third issue, this is a concern, and this is based on the U.S. Census. Bay Minette has a population of approximately 8,400. Of that 8,400, Bay Minette has an employed population of approximately 3,100. So we ask this question: what is going on with that 5,000 or so people? Who are they? Many of those people are retired seniors. Many of those people are disabled. But we found that there is a big number of those employed people who are young adults, who are youth. Now we're talking about that 16 to 35 age bracket. They have no skills. They have no economic means of making a living. And so they're left wandering and being idle in the streets. We're talking about the streets of Bay Minette, the streets of Stockton, the streets of Latham, the streets of Tensar, that North Baldwin County area. There is something my mother used to say to me when I was growing up. She said, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. As men of coalition, we're tired of looking at these youth. We're tired of seeing them idle. We're tired of seeing them get into activities they shouldn't be getting into. So we're constantly trying to come up with ways to develop them, to help them develop skills and become useful for the cities that they live in. We believe we come up with a way, but this is where we need your help. Men of the Coalition is a 501c3 organization. What we're proposing to you is a collaboration. We're proposing a partnership with you between the school board and the Men of Coalition, whereby you lease that building to us. We will use that facility to create skills so that these youth, these idle youths, can develop and become healthy citizens in the society. Now, we recognize that every student, every teen doesn't want to be an accountant. Every teen doesn't want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a draftsman, or stockbroker. But we've come up with some things that we know many of them are interested in that will help them develop clean lives. We will use that facility to offer them certain things, such as barber training, hairdresser training, manicure, pedicure training, mechanics training, welding training, student tutoring, entrepreneurship training, personal development training. I'm going to stop right here. There are many of these kids that don't know how to say thank you, please, I'm sorry, excuse me. That's because they've never been taught. They need personal development. This is something we would be offering at this facility. Others such as professional services seminars, even senior citizens support, just to name a few. We are requesting a partnership with you, the school board, so that we can help develop these youths, get them off the streets, and maybe bring them to a level to where some of that orange we saw a little bit earlier can go to green among APs and ACTs. We need your help. We want to put that building back to work. We have retired people in the community who are ready, willing, and able to volunteer their time to create this facility. I know my time has gone over. I want to thank you for listening to us, and we hope you will strongly consider our request. Partner with us and allow us to help use that facility, put it back to work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, really.
Second speaker, Coach Lejeune.
Good evening, everybody. It's kind of hard for me. But I just want to thank the board for giving me this few minutes to talk to you, to kind of let you know who Coach Lejeune really is. I know I've done some things wrong on August the 23rd. I know you have it in front of you. I know it was wrong, some of the things I did, like I said, made some mistakes, and I apologize for them. And all I can do is when you get knocked down, like I used to coach my kids, the worst thing is to stay down. The best thing is to get up and make yourself better. And that's what I did in this situation. I looked for a silver lining. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am. My calling has always been to be an educator and a coach. And I chose 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. Most people thought I was crazy, but I loved them. They're like little young colts. You just got to take that 7th grader and turn him into a young man. And that's what you do, and I love that part. Same thing with football. I was a head junior high coach most of my career. I was a defensive coordinator on the high school level. And I taught physical education and biology. Those are my classes that I taught. After retirement, I always wanted to be a bus driver. And so here I am. I've driven a bus for 13 years. I continued to, the reason I chose to be a bus driver is because I could continue to mold young people in their lives. I'm fortunate enough to have kindergarten through 6th grade right now. I drive at Magnolia. And I tell you that that's what makes my day, is those kids. When they get on that bus sometimes, they might have tears in their eyes. They have a sad look. You don't know what their life is like until you know. And when they get on that bus, we are the first person they see and talk to go to school. We're the last ones when they get off that bus. So every morning, I try to judge my kid when that smile, either a smile, a tear, or a sad look. If it's a sad look or a tear, like I had a young student the other day, he got on the bus crying. I didn't take that bus go any further until I went back, sat in that seat with that young man, and I had a little talk, but it was mostly not at him or with him. I talked to myself about things in life, about, hey, you know, we all have bad days. I had one just the other day, and I told him about it, the little kid, and I looked at him and said, you know, we're in charge of our happiness. I know we have some bad times. I said, but young man, you are a good man because you're good on my bus. And you can have a good day. It's up to you. Gave him my dap. He gave me his. And ever since that day, he's done nothing but go out of his way to say, Coach, have a good day. Have a good morning. It's good to see you. That means the most to me. That's what helps me. And I tell you right now, I got a few things too I'd like to say about my kids and some of the situations I've had. Like I said, I've been doing it for 13 years. But you know, like I said, when they're sad, you try to work through it. It's just like I've had this week, I've had 2 kids with new glasses. One of the worst things is having that kid go to school and he gets picked on because of his glasses. Well, that young girl, gosh, you look so pretty in those glasses. Wow. Young man, boy, you're smart looking. And that changes. They know they've got something that's good. It's good for them. And sometimes I'll even put mine on and say, look, let's just be the glass club. Let's just us be the old glasses club. And they just smile and we get along and it's all good. But you know, and I'll tell you the one thing that I did in Lass County a long time ago was a young man got on my bus. He was a 2nd grader. He got on that bus and he always had to go to the bathroom before he got on the bus. If not, it would be too late. So he got on the bus that day, and he did. He had to go to the bathroom. Everybody's making fun. I looked in the mirror, and I saw what was going on. I didn't know exactly, but I knew something wasn't right. I don't let my kids pick on each other, because I try to teach them that the 2 things we do more than anything on our bus is we respect and love each other. Well, I checked on the little man, and he did his thing. So before I went back there, though, first of all, I took a water bottle and just kind of poured it in my lap. So I go back there, and guess what happens? Old Coach is the one's getting the funny part. He says, Coach, look, oh my goodness, Coach. I said, I know. Sometimes we just have a bad day. And guess what happens? I'm the one, they never said anything else to that young man. But that kid would, from that day forward, there was nothing but hugs I got every day from him. I could go on with a lot of stories, but what I want to say, I don't need all this. What I want to say, what I've done is dusted myself off to be a better bus driver, the driver that I know I can be and that I've always been until that, the bad day I had. And I did. I had a bad day that day. I had that wreck, and everything just went out the window that I've learned and I've done. So I've had to dust myself off and go back to the basics. I started studying over again. I had the CDL class, recertification. Everything in that class, I took a note. Everything come out of that man's mouth, I took a note. It's all right here, and everything in there is highlighted about what I did wrong that day. That's all I've done. That's all I've done was try to write and do the right thing and learn the right thing. Since I was out, all I did was for 2 weeks while I was out, I did nothing but rewrite and rewrite and rewrite and go through that book and that manual. I even wrote minute by minute the day I had that accident. And I just want y'all to know the one thing, since that accident, I've been driving for 2 weeks. It's been the best 2 weeks I've had in a long time because I'm back with my babies. Most of all, I've had 2 supervisors follow me and check me. Right here, in 13 years, I've never had a bad one of these. I got this the other day. It's all good marks, and I was told I'm one of the best bus drivers I've seen. And I'm proud of this more than anything. But the one thing I asked the board is to give me a chance to get back to my kids. I've had 14 days away from them. I know you got to vote on this, and I'll respect your decision. But there's one thing I'd like to say before I do leave, if I can find it. Yeah, right here. In closing, I would like to thank the HR department, Mr. Eric West, Mr. Keith Kaiser, and Beverly Floyd. I also want to thank Jacob Fields, my route supervisor, Daniel Lowry, my immediate supervisor. These people treated me with the utmost respect, and they're good people to have in our system. I want y'all to know that as a board. And I want to thank you. And I just know that y'all are always in my prayers because y'all have a lot of decisions to make all the time for the good people of this county. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Coach, I just want to say, my 49 years in education, I don't believe I've ever had anybody come and speak to a board apologizing for what they've done, knowing that it was wrong, but willing to pick themselves up and continue. That's a mark of a person with a lot of character. That's all I heard. When I made my decision, I listened to others and what they had to say about you. And that weighed in a lot with my decision. But I think you basically accepted the fact that, it was a bad day. Fortunately, it didn't get worse. And here you are to tell about it and to still love on kids, and I appreciate that. So thank you for coming to the board and speaking to us.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach. You mentioned some people who you said were good to have in our system. Well, it's good to have you in our system. Thank you. Those were good words. We appreciate you. At this time, we'll have our amendments to the agenda.
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson. Amendments to the agenda. Amend number 14, leave of absence of personnel. Number 15, retirement and resignations of personnel. Number 16, transfer, intent to transfer of personnel. Number 17, employment of personnel. Number 18, extra work for extended periods. Add number 21, FY 2025 Baldwin County Board of Education budget approval. Number 22, Solution Tree Professional Development Contract. Number 23, Memorandum of Understanding between the Baldwin County Board of Education and the Baldwin County Juvenile Center. Informational agenda, add number 1, agenda 1, reassignment of personnel.
Do we have a motion to accept these amendments to our agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Cecil, second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll go to our items of business.
Agenda item 1, bids, proposals. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the bids and bid extensions for goods and services for the system as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Jason, the second by Cecil. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 1 passes.
Agenda item 2, 2024-2025 proposed salary schedule addition. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the dissemination of the proposed addition to the 2024-2025 salary schedule for contract assistant superintendent in accordance with Act 2024-360 as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Andrea, the second by Jason. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2 passes.
Agenda item 3, approval of model form assistant superintendent contract. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the proposed model form assistant superintendent contract as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Cecil, second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 3 passes.
Agenda item 4, approval of 2024-2025 memorandum of understanding for school resource officer program. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to authorize the superintendent to enter into the SRO MOU as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
Second.
Motion by Rondi, second by Jason. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes.
Agenda item 5, approval of contract Allied Instructional Services. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the contract with Allied Instructional Services for Braille and transcription services for visually impaired students as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
Second.
I hear Rondi.
Yeah, Rashi.
Motion by Rondi, second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda item 5 passes.
Agenda item 6, approval of contract Advanced Behavioral and Education Consulting. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the contract for behavioral consultants to be paid from special education federal funds as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrea, second by Jason. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 6 passes.
Agenda item 7, approval of contract, the core project. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the contract for behavioral consultants to be paid from special education federal funds as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Cecil, second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 7 passes.
Agenda item 8, approval of contract Sioux Heater. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the contract for a behavioral consultant to be paid from special education federal funds as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrea, second by Jason. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 8 passes.
Agenda item 9, approval of contract Glenwood, Inc. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the contract for MCS training as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Cecil, second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 9 passes.
Agenda item 10, approval of contract LBP interpreting. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the contract for interpreting services to be paid from special education federal funds as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jason, second by Cecil. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Item 10 passes.
Agenda item 11, approval of contracts, Coastal Makers LLC. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the contract with Coastal Makers LLC to be paid from after-school care funds as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second by
Motion by Andrea, second by Rondi. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Item 11 passes.
Agenda item 12, drainage easement. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the board president and superintendent to execute the attached drainage easement as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Motion by Andrea, second by Cecil. Is there any?
Tony.
Tony.
Sorry, Tony. Sorry. Me too. I'm sorry. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 12 passes.
Agenda item 13, proposed 2024-2025 school year calendar option dissemination. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the dissemination of 4 proposed school calendar options to local schools and organizations for input as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So
So move. Second.
Yes.
Motion by
That was
Rodney,
Rodney.
second by Cecil. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 13 passes.
Agenda item 14, leaves of absence of personnel. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the leave of absence of personnel as amended and provided to board members under separate cover.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jason, second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 14 passes.
Agenda item 15, retirement and resignations of personnel. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the retirement and resignations of personnel as amended, provided to board members under separate cover.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrea, second by Jason. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 15 passes.
Agenda item 16, transfer intent to transfer personnel. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the transfer intent to transfer personnel as amended and provided to board members under separate cover.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jason, second by Cecil. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Item 16 passes.
Agenda item 17, employment of personnel. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the employment of personnel as amended and provided to board members under separate cover.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrea, second by Cecil. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 17 passes.
Agenda item 18, extra work for extended periods. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the extra worker personnel as amended and provided to board members under separate cover.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jason, second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 18 passes.
Agenda item 19, rescission of employment of personnel. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve to rescind the employment of personnel as provided to board members under separate cover.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrea, second by Cecil. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 19 passes.
Agenda item 20, suspension of personnel unpaid. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the unpaid suspension of personnel as provided to board members under separate cover.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jason, second by Andrea. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 20 passes.
Agenda item 21, FY 2025 Baldwin County Board of Education budget approval. The superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the district-wide budget for fiscal year 2025 in order to meet the specific requirements set within the Code of Alabama as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrea, second by Jason. Is there any discussion? Thank you, John.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 21 passes.
Agenda item 22, Solution Tree Professional Development Contract. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to approve the contract with Solution Tree to be paid from Baymonette Middle School Title I funds as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrea, second by Jason. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 22 passes.
Agenda item 23, MOU between the Baldwin County Board of Education and the Baldwin County Juvenile Detention Center. Superintendent recommends adoption of a motion to authorize and direct the superintendent or his designee to execute and deliver the 2023-2024 MOA between the Baldwin County Board of Education and the Baldwin County Juvenile Detention Center in a form similar to the attached as stipulated in the agenda exhibit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andrea, second by Cecil. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 23 passes.
That's it, Mr. Johnson.
Is there anything else from any of the board members for the good of the board? Then we'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? This meeting is adjourned.